this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they're welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Your duties there?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people, in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands, and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm counts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Hereby the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice is always based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom could accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you. The secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce at this, the 4th General Session of the Oregon FFA State Convention, that there are 2,741 members and guests present, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice
Brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess.
May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this session of the 91st Oregon FFA State Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. This morning's session chair is an avid shoe, sticker, and hat collector. He's also a big fan of dinosaurs. Oregon FFA, help me welcome to the stage your state secretary, Devin Thacker.
Hey, Mom, do you remember when I used to be that crazy kid running all around the house and climbing walls? Mom, yes, I remember. I loved you then, but I'm so glad you're not that crazy anymore. This conversation between me and my mom would happen every once in a while, but she would always end with saying how happy she was with how I turned out. Little does she know, I'm still that crazy kid. We all had those fun memories of us being kids, but then we look at ourselves and say, wow, I'm not that crazy 4-year-old anymore. We grow every day, whether we realize it or not. That crazy kid is in all of us, but the growth to be more than that is what makes all of us so amazing. One way we grow is doing things that make us happy, so I thought I'd share a clip that as a kid made me get insanely excited. Cool, right? That made me feel like a kid again. Do you ever think about those old shows or things we used to be so obsessed with? I know mine was definitely dinosaurs in the land before time. We are about to go on one insane journey and we're all packed and ready to go. But before we head out, we need to know our travel guide for the day. First stop in our travels, we will recognize our State Alumni Council and their achievements for the year. Then we will hear from our state-prepared public speaking finalists in the sophomore division. Then we will recognize our Ag Youth Awareness, Agriscience, National Chapter, and Chapter Book and Portfolio Award recipients. Then, to top off our journey, we will hear from our state sentinel, Holly Silvey, as she presents your retiring address, Your Choice. All of this would not have been possible without the generous support of our session sponsor, Marion Ag Services, and our star partner, Geffen Mesher and the Ford Family Foundation. We are about to go on the adventure of a lifetime with Petrie, Ducky, Spike, Littlefoot, and Ducky to the Great Valley. On our way to the Great Valley, we will run into a ton of obstacles. But everything and anything that comes in our way will not prevent us from reaching growth. The next people we are about to meet on our journeys are some that have given us guidance before we even set foot on our journeys. These individuals help us in not only our chapters, but our communities. Our state and our Oregon FFA state alumni. They have made their growth and history within our organization and have decided that in order for Oregon FFA to prosper, they need to help out in our organization. So Oregon FFA, help me welcome your State Alumni Council. And now for your State Alumni Council. At President, Sweet Salo. President-elect Tom Rutledge. Past President Robert Schmittig. At Treasurer Christy Hartzell. At Secretary Debbie Price. At Reporter Emily Badalega. Regional Vice President Jennifer Openlander. Regional Vice President Carrie Kelly. Regional Vice President Eric Karn. Regional Vice President Miles Ralston. Regional Vice President Caitlin Coates. FFA Association Representative Lee Letch. And FFA Foundation Representative Matt Bunch. As they exit the stage, help me thank our State Alumni Council for always sticking by our side on our journeys and helping us grow. We we go to our alumni every year to ask for help. Having knowledge and wisdom, our alumni have been successful in their journeys. They believe in our chapters and communities, helping aid in reaching success and growth. These next few individuals have gone above and beyond, supporting us in our adventures and guiding us towards success. Please join me in welcoming these individuals to the stage with a round of applause. Also, help me welcome back Mr. Eric Karn to assist in our award presentation. The Outstanding Alumni Chapter, an outstanding alumni individual, recognizes an alumni chapter and an individual FFA alumni member for their outstanding leadership and service to agricultural education, FFA, and FFA alumni. The 2019 Oregon FFA Alumni Outstanding Chapter goes to the SCIO FFA alumni and supporters. The SCIO FFA alumni and supporters is a very active group of over 80 individuals from across SCIO, but surrounding areas as well, who have year-round events planned to support the SCIO FFA chapter, its members, and their advisor. SCIO FFA alumni and supporters has great interactions and assists with many activities for their chapter and community. SCIO FFA alumni actively recruits from the graduating class of students to keep their membership young and active. Congratulations, SCIO FFA alumni and supporters, for the 2019 Oregon FFA State Alumni. We are pleased to introduce the award of the Outstanding Alumni Individual to Mr. Craig Anderson. In the 6 years as a Cascade FFA alumni and supporters member, Mr. Craig has been the organization of many recruitment and informational events about the purpose of the alumni and how that is the next step for the FFA members. Mr. Anderson is always the one that is called upon from the local alumni affiliate to speak to parents and potential FFA members to communicate the benefits of FFA for the children and impacts of the alumni. Craig is the largest supporter of the agricultural science and technology instructor at Cascade and is always reminding alumni members that the alumni exist to support the ag teacher and FFA advisor. Congratulations, Mr. Craig Anderson. As they exit the stage, help me show some appreciation towards our alumni individuals.
One of my family's favorite places to visit is the Oregon coast. On one particular coast trip, I decided to go over to the tide pools. As I crawled over some large rocks to get to the pools, I noticed a bunch of small shells as hard as rock inside of one of the boulders. These were indeed fossils. You know what's fascinating about fossils? Is something like a whole T-Rex skeleton can transform into solid stone. The growth of stone from bones is much like what happens when we engage in a contest like public speaking. By repeatedly practicing and being put under pressure, our softer skills of speaking start to grow into a more solid and lasting strength. These next few speakers are currently growing their skills and learning more about the agriculture industry by participating in Sophomore public speaking. This event would not be possible without our award sponsor, Harvest Capital Company, and star partner, Oregon Department of Agriculture. Please join me in a round of applause for their support. Each speaker will now introduce themselves, their chapter, and give a brief introduction to their original speech.
My name is Sydney Stables, and I'm from the Amity FFA chapter. When we wake up in the morning after a long night's rest, many of us immediately head to the kitchen to see what's for breakfast. After a few moments of decision-making, some decide to have a nice big bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. We pour ourselves what we think to be a good amount of cereal and head to the fridge for some ice cold milk to pour over the cereal. When we open the fridge, what do we expect to see?
My name is Dalton Brown. I'm from the North Powder FFA chapter. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife has estimated that there are approximately 6,600 cougars in Oregon. Another study showed that Oregonians only kill 4% of the population annually. That would indicate that only 264 cougars are being killed per year. That is a fraction of the total population, not to mention the rapid growth of them due to reproduction.
I'm Genevieve Smith, and I'm from the Heppner FFA chapter. Growing up, having my father as a state representative, I always found it to be important that people understand his job. Many memories include adults talking about politics around me, and I would always recognize the names of people and committees. But I didn't usually understand the bigger picture.
I'm Jessica Simpson from the Redmond FFA chapter. It's been a long, hard few years, and you're back in the intensive care unit at your local hospital, waiting for the news. You are in desperate need of a heart transplant and are on every possible waiting list. After hours of anxiously waiting, you finally get word that there are no available matches. But your doctor does mention the possibility of a xenotransplant. You have no idea what it is, but you're intrigued, as it is your only chance at survival. But what is xenotransplantation? According to the Science Learning Hub, xenotransplantation is when living animal cells, tissues, or organs are transplanted from one species to another. The development of this scientific practice is driven by the fact that the demand for human organs for clinical transplantation exceeds supply. According to the FDA, currently 10 patients die each day in the United States while on the waiting list to receive life-saving vital organ transplants. This proves that people are in need of something that is very easily at our fingertips. Approximately 331,000 hogs are harvested each day in the US for their meat production. However, they can be used for so much more. Thank you.
My name is John Winares, and I am from the Rogue River FFA chapter. You sit in class, looking around, quickly spotting the unengaged kid in the corner who is stereotyped to be the laid-back individual that doesn't really care. Or maybe that student is looking for something more. We all know someone who struggles to find a purpose inside the walls of a traditional school, but given the chance, would excel in a hands-on learning environment. This type of environment is offered by a varied agricultural curriculum. Unfortunately, this down-to-earth program of study is often absent in today's schools. Shouldn't education adapt to become relevant and meet the needs of all types of learners?
Hi, I'm Mia Berry, and I'm from the Sherwood FFA chapter. What do cows, romaine lettuce, and my 10th birthday all have in common? E. coli. When I turned 10, I became extremely sick and was diagnosed with E. coli. No one knew how I acquired it. The emergency room thought it was from a swimming pool. Washington County Health Department thought it was most likely from food. And my doctor thought for sure it was from a cow show I'd attended. 3 professionals in their own respective fields with 3 different theories. How can one strain of bacteria cause so much uncertainty? And how can we prevent another outbreak? Thank you.
I'm Parker Manitsis from the Grant Union FFA chapter. Victoria Agriculture defines biosecurity as a series of measures to protect against the entry and spread of pests and diseases. Even the slightest protective procedures can spare your animal from sickness, disease, and even death. The United States Department of Agriculture has provided a 6-step checklist working towards healthy and disease-free animals. Keep your distance, keep it clean, don't haul disease home, don't borrow disease from your neighbor, look for signs of infectious diseases, and finally, report sick animals.
My name is Taylor Swearingen, and I'm from the Elkton FFA chapter. I asked my 9 and 10-year-old siblings who the all-time best superhero is. Morgan said Batman because his Batmobile is cool, and Tanner said Superman because he has laser eyes. I understand why they're attracted to these influential characters. I once thought that Flash was the best superhero because he's so fast. I see now how wrong I was. For the best superhero in the universe is not some fictional character, but a simple plant that people depend on every day. I believe the best superhero to ever grace this earth is the potato. These tubers do everything from store vital nutrient superpowers, defeat villains, overcome being outcasts, and undergo extensive testing to become more resilient to outside forces. It is time that we give this veggie a cape. Thank you.
Let's congratulate our members on a job well done. This event would not have been possible without the support of Harvest Capital Company and our star partner, Oregon Department of Agriculture. Please join me in another round of applause for their support. And now for the results. In 4th place, from North Powder, Dalton Brown. In 3rd place, from Elkton, Taylor Swearingen. In 2nd place, from Rogue River, Johnwyn Ayers. And in 1st place, from Redmond, Jessica Simpson. As they exit the stage, let's recognize our sophomore public speakers' growth in their abilities with a round of applause.
The Ag Youth Awareness Award is given to those who have gone to the youth in their communities, spreading awareness and knowledge about agriculture. The individuals today have shown that they truly care about the future of ag. We would not have the opportunity to recognize these members today without the support of our sponsor and event host, Oregon Ag in the Classroom. With the help of Oregon Ag in the Classroom, FFA members are able to pass on knowledge to the youth of their communities and be noticed for all of their hard work. Here to present the award today is Miss Jessica Jansen. And now for the results. In 4th place, the Lost River FFA chapter. And in third place, the Union FFA chapter. And in second place, the Echo FFA chapter. In first place, the Hermiston FFA chapter. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our participants one last time and thank our sponsor, Oregon Ad in the Classroom. The Environmental Service and Natural Resource Systems are our first group of Agriscience projects. These participants in all types of weather and conditions. Just like professionals working in the natural resource industry, demonstrating skills relevant to GPS navigation, soil science, water management, and wildlife conservation. These members have reached the growth needed to be on this stage with us today. When we watch the news, we always hear the weatherman say it's getting colder or hotter and talking about the limited resources we have and not a lot we can do about the change. But these members today have experienced the growth needed to get out there in the communities and show what really needs to be done in nature, in natural resources. And now for the results. For the Environmental Service Natural Resource Systems. In Division 4, which is open to teams of 2 in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Rogue River, Daniel Hennix and Greg Smith. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from North Clackamas, McKenna Kirsch. In Division 6, which is open to teams of 2 members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from North Clackamas, Hannah Ranham and Stephen Phillips March. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipients and thank our award sponsor, Les and Marie Liniger, and our star partner, Beaver Coach Sales. The members working their way on stage have ventured out and to learn a lot about the Plant Systems Agriscience project. This is the study of plant life cycles, classifications, functions, structures, reproduction, media, and nutrients, as well as growth and cultural practices through the study of crops, turf grass, trees, shrubs. They have proven to the judges and their surrounding communities that they know the ins and outs of the plants and how they work. And now for the results for the plant systems. In Division 2, which is open to 2 members in grades 7 through 8, in first place, from Embler, Ellie Mola and Cal Bingaman. In Division 3, which is open to individual members in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Cami, Brooke Jonas. In Division 4, which is open to 2-member teams in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Rogue River, Cassidy Hager and Samantha Williams. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from Burt River, Zenas. In Division 6, which is open to teams of 2 members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from Burnt River, Nuria Poa and Freya Christensen. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipients one last time. The individual making their way on stage today have a passion for the study of agricultural equipment, power systems, alternative fuel sources, and precision technology, as well as woodworking, metalworking, and welding, and project planning for agricultural structures. They are becoming professionals in their specific field, and some of them up here today could help in finding the technology needed for the ever-changing world of agriculture. And now for the results for the Power Structural and Technical Systems. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from Burnt River, Ethan. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipient for all their hard work. The members that participated in the Agriscience of social systems are ones that know how or have ideas on how to fix the gap between the ag community and the urban community. They're always figuring to learn more about the study of agricultural areas, including education, agribusiness, communications, leadership, and sales, and food and natural resources. They have proven that they have a passion for ag, and they will always advocate for the farming community. And now for the results for the social systems. In Division 3, which is open to individual members in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Rogue River, Savannah Stillwagner. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from North Clackamas, Erica Bergstrom. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipients one last time. There are a few things in this world that not a lot of people realize, and it's the science behind all the food that 8 billion people eat every day. These members in the food products and processing agri-science field realize the importance behind this and have found the study of product development, quality assurance, food safety, production, regulation, and compliance of the food service within the food science industry to be something we should all be aware of. And now for the results in food products and processing systems. In Division 3, which is open to individual members in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Canby, Katie Anderson. In Division 4, which is open to 2-member teams in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Sandy, Bella Hood, and Eva Hageman. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from North Clackamas, Tia Wick. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipients on a job well done. There are so many people on this planet and even more animals. The members in the animal systems field realize that in order to keep nature and our animals healthy, that the study of animal systems, including life processes, health, nutrition, genetics, and management through the study of small animals, aquaculture, and livestock is very important. They have put in the research and have shown that they want to better the animals on our farms and in nature. And now for the results in animal systems. In Division 3, which is open to individual members in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Rogue River, Anna Howard. In Division 4, which is open to 2-member teams in grades 9 through 10, in first place, from Rogue River, Diana Wellbacker and Endika Wilson. In Division 5, which is open to individual members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from North Clackamas, Kaylin Raptis Louder. In Division 6, which is open to teams of 2 members in grades 11 through 12, in first place, from Burnt River, Mia Becker and Kathleen Hulk. As they exit the stage, let's congratulate our award recipients and all of our Agri-Science Fair projects on a job well done. The National Chapter Award Program is designed to recognize FFA chapters that actively implement the mission and strategies of the organization. In order to qualify for a state or national award, your chapter must complete at least 15 activities, one for each of the 5 quality standards in each of the 3 divisions. Additionally, the chapter must meet the minimum requirements as outlined in the National Quality Chapter Standards. These chapters are a shining example of what the Oregon FFA has to offer, and we commend them for their dedication. And now for the results. Receiving gold, Sutherland. Lost River. Baker. Ambler. Canby. Elgin. Union. Central. And Adrian. The beginning portfolio contest allows students to showcase their accomplishments in the real-world format. Their portfolio contains in-depth supervised agricultural experience documentation and a complete list of their FFA activities. In addition, it also includes academic achievements and a list of non-FFA related activities. These members are well-rounded students and certainly deserve our congratulations. And now for the results. Receiving bronze, Lindsay Hales of Scio. Receiving silver, Kalea Supalenda of Hermiston. And Dalton Puckett of North Lake. And receiving first place, Mackenzie Leo of Silverton. The Advanced Portfolio Contest allows students to showcase their accomplishments as young members in a real-world format. The portfolio contains supervised agricultural experience documentation and a complete list of their FFA involvement. It also includes academic achievements and a list of non-FFA related activities. These members may be just starting out, but they are already well on their way. And now for the results. Don't worry, they're coming, don't worry. All right. Receiving bronze, Emily Moore of Hillsborough. Alyssa Wolf of Rogue River. Lake and Field of Hermiston. Receiving silver, Anna Purcell of Sandy. Rachel Morris of Lebanon. And Gracie Paget of Myrtle Point. And Daisy Forseth from Cook County. And receiving first place, maybe. Yeah, Sandy. Yum. From St. Paul, Megan Tuck. Serving as chapter secretary is a big job, and the secretary's book is evidence of that. The secretary book is a legal working document and is the key to running a chapter smoothly. Points are awarded on the basis of completeness, accuracy, quality, neatness, spelling, grammar, and the documentation of the minutes. While some may shy away from the task, these secretaries understand what it means to work hard and serve the greater good. And now for the results. Receiving bronze, Harrisburg. Vale. Lost River. Ambler. And Hood River Valley. Receiving silver, Adrian. Cascade. Hepner. Elgin. And Hermiston. Receiving gold, Silverton. Bend. Scio. Canby. And Crook County. And receiving first place, Central. Though bookkeeping may not be one of the most glorious tasks, any of these members would tell you that serving the greater good doesn't always look glamorous. The treasurer's book must be created in a way that adds values to the chapter and include an accurate record of receipts and disbursements. The members have worked incredibly hard and we commend them for their dedication. And now for the results. Receiving bronze, Harrisburg. Lost River. And Vale. And receiving silver, Silverton. Bend. Ambler. And Sheridan. Receiving gold, Adrian. North Marion, Hepner, Hermiston, and Redmond. And receiving first place, Central. The chapter scrapbook is truly a work of art and must include a picture of the entire chapter and chapter officer team. Points are awarded for organization, completeness, quality, spelling, creativity, and usefulness of information. One day, the members will be able to take a look back in their time in the Blue Jacket as they flip through the pages of these scrapbooks, and hard work put into these will be enjoyed for years to come. And now for the results. Receiving silver, Canby. Hillsborough, Lakeview, Dayton, Lebanon, Sandy, and Sheridan. Receiving gold, Bend. Hepner, St. Paul, Staten, Scio, South Umpqua, and Elgin. And receiving first place, Ambler. Our generation may be referred to as the tech generation, but that isn't always a negative connotation, especially in regards to agriculture. The technology scrapbook tells the story of a chapter in a timeless way and is presented in a slideshow format. A picture of the entire chapter must be included, and point evaluation is made up of on a basis of neatness, accuracy, completeness, and attractiveness. And now for the results. Receiving bronze, Dallas. And Lost River. Receiving silver, Vale. Adrian, South Umpqua, Ambler, Bend, and North Lake. Receiving gold, Hood River Valley. Central, North Marion. And receiving first place, St. Paul. Help me congratulate all of our book recipients and all of their hard work and dedication to chapter books. To introduce our next speaker, please help me welcome Mallory Silvey, Maddie Anderson, and Kendall Puller to the podium.
Good morning, Oregon FFA. My name is Kendall Puller.
My name is Maddie Anderson.
And I'm Mallory Silvey.
Now this morning we have the pleasure to introduce to you an amazing, smart, beautiful, and inspiring young woman. Ever since I met Holly freshman year in high school, your personality and humor has always uplifted people when you walk into the room. It has been a joy to watch you grow into an illuminating leader this past year. You have ignited a light in so many people, including me. You inspire people to reach their full potential.
Holly is the little sister that I never had. I've known her since 2008 when it was Mallory and I's first year in 4-H. Then she was a little spitfire, full of dreams, drive, and determination, who couldn't wait to finally be a junior and show her little Himalayan rabbit. In the last 11 years of having her in my life, nothing has changed, except maybe her pigtails, and that her dreams and aspirations are now much greater and are changing the lives of countless others. It's been such an honor and pleasure to have you as a part of my journey, Holly. When I grow up, I hope I can be more like you.
Holly, ever since we were toddlers, she would beat me up. We would fight, throw punches, and be typical competitive sisters. She was my #1 competitor in everything, 4-H shows, horse competitions, and even schoolwork. Even though I didn't like it, she always pushed me to be my best, and even through the fighting, Mom and Dad used to tell us that we were each other's best friend, even when it didn't feel like it, even when we didn't want to be friends. Well, here we are, all grown up, and I'm about to watch my very best friend give her retiring address at the Oregon FFA State Convention after a very noble and successful year pushing others to be their best, just like you did with me. I couldn't be a prouder sister and an even more proud best friend. Now introducing my little sister,
The little sister I never had.
And my best friend, your
2018-2019 Oregon FFA State Sentinel, Holly Silvey.
You and I, just yelling off the balcony, late July, just waiting for your friends to leave, and finally, so can we, in the back of the car, trying to stay awake, I can tell from the stars that we're out of LA, with your hand hanging out the window like you're riding on a wave. I'm no good at goodbyes, we're always running away. I've been looking for love in the distance, down the sidewalks, the cities I visit, up the coast looking for something different. All along you were there, but I missed it. I don't know what it is, but I feel good about it. You're all around,
I was in the 4th grade at my first rabbit show, and my stomach is full of butterflies. It was my first time at the show table as a 4-H member, and I was nervous. Palms are sweating, cheeks are cramping from smiling, and I'm doing some last-minute studying in my head. Male is called a buck, female is called a doe, gestation period, you know, the basics. The judge is 2 people away, and I refuse to take my eyes off him. Moments later, he stands right in front of me, and I feel all the nerves go to my face, and I turn, as my mom says, an adorable shade of red. I'm even more nervous now as he asks me, what is the definition of a DQ? Being that it's close to lunchtime, I'm like, does he mean Dairy Queen? But, then it clicks. He means a disqualification. Oh, that's an easy one, I think, as I take a deep breath, remember to repeat the question, and slow down as I answer. A disqualification is a permanent flaw or blemish. Bam, I nailed it, for I knew all too well what a disqualification was. This is my rabbit, Leroy. And every single show that I brought him to, I received a DQ. There was nothing I could do to change the color of his fur. However, just because he was disqualified at the table doesn't mean he didn't serve a purpose. Leroy was a rabbit I could give to younger members to hold, practice with, and was always dependable. Despite his flaws and disqualifications, he never let me down on the showmanship table. It's no secret that every single one of us has flaws. While we can't dictate our circumstances, we get to choose how we respond. We must make the conscious choice to laugh at ourselves, to be uncomfortable, and to help others. Not to point out flaws or anything, but my dad is awfully bad at ice skating. We're just gonna get that out of the way. Really, really bad at it. We decided to try some new moves at the ice skating rink in town. Now let me tell you, my dad's mom was an Olympic qualifying figure skater. I learned of his lack of talent when we decided to go to the rink in town. I had never seen my dad on the ice before and was excited to see what moves he might have gotten from my grandma. We laced up our skates and got ready to get on the ice. Side note, I have had plenty of practice skating before. In fact, I went a week earlier with the Silverton FFA chapter. You could say I'm a pro. We hopped on the ice, and my dad, Randy, immediately found his way to the railing, where he hugged it all the way around. And I mean all the way around. My dad, I remember him saying, with one arm still on the rail, "I'm killing it, Holly. I should be teaching you how to skate." I wasn't the only one laughing with my dad that day. In fact, everyone, inside and out of the rink, were pretty well entertained. He suffered through about an hour more on the ice, and we called it a day. We packed up our things and headed home. I remember my dad saying, "Well, at least I didn't fall." I said, "Dad, that would have hurt a lot less than your ankles do right now, and they will for the next few weeks." He then proceeds to say, "I would have been fine falling, though, because I know it would have made a lot of people laugh and therefore brighten their days." I thought about that. Well, 1, what a man, and 2, what a way to think. Even when my dad was completely struggling, and I mean completely, he was still finding a way to help people find joy and laughter. That day, my dad taught me that no matter your skills, your practice, or your attitude, we aren't perfect. We have flaws, faults, and weaknesses. He taught me when we're feeling overwhelmed with weakness or too embarrassed to continue, we can take a deep breath, laugh at ourselves, and continue moving forward. That injury you received in the middle of the season helped you develop more passion for the game. Learning my rabbit Leroy had a disqualification was hard at first, but I was still able to use him to put smiles on younger members' faces. Knowing you have weak ankles does not keep you from running and possibly falling at FFA competitions in your heels. We learn, we grow, and we laugh. Even if your mom was an Olympic qualifying figure skater, right, Dad? That doesn't mean you can let go of the railing at the rink. While that may be hilarious, it's also okay. Choose to laugh, learn, and keep on skating. At the Umpqua District Leadership Camp, I found myself doing a lot of laughing. But little did I know, I was about to learn an important lesson. I was intertwined with 15 other Sentinels during a district-wide human knot competition. Now, the word competition can alter the whole mood of a leadership camp. Therefore, I lost the smile and continued to shout, "Sentinels don't lose." And let me tell you, we sure don't. We were working our way through a solution when I heard faint words in my ear say, "Holly, can I take a break?" And in my head, I was already formulating a response. No one takes a break. Sentinels don't lose. But before I opened my mouth, I look at her. And more importantly, I look at her expression, her eyes filling with tears, and her smile gone. I nod my head and excuse her from the group, and I watch her as she walks away. My heart sank. That's when I excuse myself from the cluster of people and approach Whitney as she's wiping her tears and collecting herself. I say, "Whitney, I'm so sorry. This activity was supposed to be fun. In fact, Sentinels can lose. Don't worry, I wasn't being serious. In fact, we lose a lot of time, and to be quite frank, I think we're already in last place. Do not tell them that." She stops her rambling, assuring it's not my fault. She says, "I was having a good time, but my nerves weren't." Whitney knew it could happen, but she wanted to be a part of the competition. Whitney has anxiety attacks like this often, along with over 18% of our population. She could have easily sat out for the competition that day, but instead, she made a choice. Whitney made the choice to try. Whitney took a step outside of her comfort zone that day, pushing her worries and anxiety away. Embracing weakness can be hard, scary, and overall uncomfortable, but when we make the conscious choice, like Whitney, we find open doors. Doors to new opportunities, doors to solving the human knot, and doors to overcoming flaws and forgetting old ones. Whitney finds herself stepping out of her comfort zone when running for chapter office, competing in speaking events, and participating within our chapter. How will you make the choice to step out of your comfort zone? Will you compete in the job interview contest, knowing you get nervous with conversations? Will you try out for the volleyball team, knowing you're not very good at setting the ball? I know I'm not. Stepping out of our comfort zone brings us to life. Open a new door, step out of your comfort zone, and choose to overcome your flaws. Speaking of flaws, on a chilly day way back in May, my friends and I decided to load up in our small, not always dependable fishing boat. It had been in and out of the shop multiple times and was strictly a 3-man vessel. We loaded up with hopes of catching the big one, maybe, with coffee and fishing pole in hand. We arrive at Fish Alley and begin throwing in our lines when we hear nearby fishermen shout, "Fish on, fish on!" We hooped and hollered in celebration. I navigated us to a good spot. We watched the nearby fisherman reel in his big trophy with a smile on his face when he loses his balance and falls into the water. I gasp in shock, and in slow motion, their whole boat flips upside down, capsizing. All 3 men are now in frigid 30-degree water. My friends reach for the anchor and reel in the lines, and I head straight for the motor. I'm suddenly brought to life by panic, realizing that our boat is at full capacity, and we're more than 200 yards away from shore. I yell, "Hold on, we will be right there." I go for the motor, pull in the recoil, and nothing happens. I yank 10 more times, and there is still no response. I then realize the motor just wasn't going to work. It's now been over a minute, and the men are still in freezing water, and we haven't made any progress towards saving them. Hearts racing, eyes gaping, we find a single oar, one oar, and begin frantically paddling our way to the scene. After what seemed like hours, we reach the end and throw out a rope. One man, seeing the opportunity to be saved, begins climbing up the side of our trusty vessel. With the edge of our boat nearly underwater, I assure the men, "We will get you to shore, but you will have to let go." Otherwise, we risk capsizing as well. He lets go, and with our boat temporarily safe, my friend finally gets the motor running. The men grab onto the rope, and together we drag them to shore. After assisting them on an ambulance, we're told 5 more minutes in the water, and the men would be in real serious danger. I then began to think, what if? What if we had a larger boat? What if the motor would have worked? And what if we would have left the dock 5 minutes later? That day on the lake, a boat capsizing and a motor seizing are 2 of the worst things that could have happened. We could have easily turned away and waited for another boat to help. But instead, we chose to take on the challenge using all of our resources. We may not have been the best equipped, but we were the only ones presented with the opportunity to help. When disaster strikes, how will you respond? Will you help someone stranded in a lake of despair? Will you help a classmate on their math homework? And will you extend a hand to someone who is suffering? We all have choices. We can either sit and wait to be rescued or stand up and rescue others. Be the one to push through and face difficult situations head on. Choose to stand up and help those around you. Knowing our boat was small and undependable didn't stop us. Though it wasn't quite as cute, like my rabbit, it had some flaws. A faulty motor, cramped space, and more than tipsy balance, most people would have laughed at our boat. If it were a person, it probably would have been hanging onto the railing just like my dad. We knew it might not have been the most seaworthy vessel, but to us, it was the key to a day of fishing. We couldn't be afraid of the what-ifs that our boat presented. If we hadn't had the faith in our trusty vessel, never would have even been on the lake that day. We never would have even had the chance to save those men. Know yourself, know what you can and cannot do, but try anyway. What is there to lose? Your reaction, your outcome, and your impact on others, it's all your choice. When we focus less negative energy and more positive energy on our flaws and choose to overcome them, we will be the best versions of ourselves. We can then spread that positivity and confidence to those who are struggling in the same boat as we are. Choose to laugh at our flaws. Choose to face those flaws and be uncomfortable. And finally, take what we have learned and choose to impact others. Oregon FFA, the choice is yours.
These eyes will not be blinded by the lights. And from now on, what's waited till tomorrow starts tonight.
When I first met Holly, the district officers and I were setting up for our annual leadership camp. At one point in the night, everyone hit a wall and we were all so tired. Without talking to Holly ever, we sat at the table laughing for absolutely no reason. Everyone at the table thought we were crazy, but in that moment, Holly taught me happiness can truly come from nowhere. As for me, members of the Oregon FFA, and many others, Holly, you taught us how to truly be happy.
Whether she's holding snakes in Africa or doing the Cupid shuffle at sectionals, she always has a smile on her face. Now here's the funny thing. The other day, I found a quote on Pinterest. Yes, I look at Pinterest. How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? It is from Winnie the Pooh. Holly is one of the most outgoing people I know. With her kindness and dependability and her leadership skills and Bigfoot hunting, she has been able to impact Oregon FFA. I know for sure she has truly changed my life as well as other kids in the state. I never fully understood how much a state officer truly does until meeting Holly. They travel, teach, sacrifice, and volunteer for the state association. For that, I want to thank you, and I'm lucky for you to call my friend, and proud to call you an amazing state officer.
Holly Silvey, the girl with the crazy contagious laugh, spontaneous personality, and just overall amazing person. You have touched us all in this room, and you always tell us to overcome our flaws, because we truly are beautiful because of you. Thank you. Love, Mackenzie, Andrew, Sunday, Dylan, and Devin. Oregon FFA, your 2018-2019 State Sentinel, Holly Silvey.
Real quick, a few announcements. Oregon FFA, what a fantastic job you did yesterday in preparing and starting our state days of service. We packed 6,000 cans, but have over 34,000 to pack today. We will be packing from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Chapters and advisors that have not signed up, we will add another packing line today. This means we will need 10 to 12 more members each shift. Please come by and sign up for a time slot if you want to help out. See you at the Swine Center for State Days of Service, brought to you by Food for All. A pair of black rectangular framed Foster Grant glasses were found and are up here at the Secretary's station. And finally, we apologize for any confusion that arose during the chapter book's presentation. Following this session, the stage will be briefly available for photos for any missed photo opportunities. And now, back to your regular scheduled session.
When Littlefoot and his crew start out on their journey, they're faced with no one to turn to, with only looking to their friends for help. They experience growth by finding each other's strengths to reach the Great Valley. We got to experience part of their growth while also recognizing our State Alumni Council and their achievements for the year. And without them, we wouldn't be able to reach our full potential to grow. Then it got crazy with our sophomore prepared public speaking finalists as they prepared some of their hard work. Then we recognized our Ag Youth Awareness, Agriscience, National Chapter, and Chapter Book and Portfolio recipients for all the growth they have shown in their research and records. Then to top off our journey, we heard from our State Sentinel, Holly Silvey, as she presented her retiring address, Your Choice, that left us all reaching to overcome our flaws. All of this would not have been possible without the generous support of our session sponsor, Marion Ag Services, and our star partners, Geffen Mesher and the Ford Family Foundation. Please join me in one last round of applause for all their generous support. We have almost reached the end of our journey in this session, and we will always remember Littlefoot and his crew on how they basically took down a sharp tooth, survived the end of the world, and still persevered to reach their Great Valley. We are all able to walk out of these doors and grow and reach our full potential. We can do this by reaching out to people that have went down similar paths as us, as well as looking to our friends for help along the way. Come back to tonight's session where we will hear from our strategic, competitive State Vice President, Dylan Westfall, as he presents his session entitled Dig Deep. Yeah, let's get that clap. Yeah. Where he not only implements the show Survivor, but how that will truly show us how to dig deep and show us the action-packed side of Reach. While also hearing from our amazing state reporter, Sunday Spielman, as she presents her retiring address, Immeasurable. Thank you for starting off your Sunday right by coming to this, the 4th general session of the Oregon FFA State Convention, where we went on the journey of a lifetime towards reaching growth.